Sometimes your race gets ruined on the first lap, sometimes it ends at the first corner, but you know it's really not your day when you don't even make it that far. Welcome back to iRacing for an unmitigated disaster in the GT VRS Sprint Series at Imola. Now, I've been involved in some catastrophes in my time, but none as chaotic as what goes down in this one, before I'd even crossed the line to start the race. Now, I'm starting way down in P19 on a grid of 25, so I knew it was going to be tough, but I never expected this.
Green.
Well, the lights are green and we are underway at Imola. Oh, huge accident! There is a colossal wreck ahead of us. Loads of cars involved. We're hard on the brakes to try and avoid plowing into them. Oh, but we get taken out from behind and punted into the wall. Well, this 40-minute race could be over before it's even started here. I'm going to try and rejoin with my wheels out of alignment, but no, it's no good. We've got the hamburger flag. We are done. Well, I knew this was a big wreck, but I didn't realise just how big until I saw the replay. It all started with a coming together between the silver 22 Audi and the Castrol BMW right there, and after that, all hell breaks loose. It actually looked like the BMW driver, Scott Kirkland, may have tagged the car in front of him, and that's what sent him careering into the Audi. Meanwhile, I thought I was being safe by hanging back a little bit here, but how wrong I was. There's absolute mayhem in front of me. I've got no choice but to ease off at this point, but I get tagged from behind by the number 3 Marcelo Unzui, and then I get hit again. I don't know why Unzui decided to gas it at that point, because that second contact was what ended it for me. Let's ride on board with Unzui. And he does try to get it stopped when he sees what's happening in front. He can't quite do it, and there's the first hit, but then suddenly he decides to floor it. Now, I've got absolutely no idea why he tried to do that. It wasn't like he could go anywhere. There were cars strewn everywhere, and he's not done. Look, he runs straight into 2 more cars and sends them off. So, dear me, this wreck has continued all the way down the start straight. I think we've lost more than half of the grid from this race before we even made it to turn 1. And this is an absolute shambles. Just when you think there can't possibly be any more crashes, we see one. Look, they're still going off. Right, let's go back and take a look from the chopper cam. We'll see if we can get to the bottom of what caused this. Keep your eye on that Castrol BMW of Scott Kirkland. It looks like he's trying to get past the green Audi of Tu Ching Yan. But as he swings out to the left, he not only tags Yan, but he runs right into the other Audi of Rico Brax, and that causes the domino effect that sends most of this grid into the barrier. Now, in defence of Kirkland in the BMW, he may have been caught out by Jan applying the brakes in that Audi in the middle of the start-finish straight. Watch the on-board with Kirkland. Right there, the brake lights come on. Kirkland tries to react by moving to the left, but of course Rico Brax was already there. There's a collision, and it causes absolute chaos. Well, let's ride on board with Rico Brax in the Audi. We'll see he had absolutely no chance. Yeah, it goes to show just how careful you've got to be at the start of these races. You've got to have so much awareness of what's going on around you, what other drivers are doing or what they might do, because as we can see here, the smallest mistake can have the biggest consequences. A couple of drivers got really lucky. The luckiest was Mark Newton. We're riding on board with him now, and look how close he comes to getting collected. Somehow he managed to find the only gap there was to get through. But yeah, I don't think I could have done anything differently here. I saw what was going on, so I slowed down to avoid ploughing into it, but of course I can't do anything about the drivers behind me. Now, I survived the first tap from Unzui, but there was nothing I could do about that second punt. I mean, I couldn't go anywhere because Jan was rejoining in front of me, so really, I was a sitting duck. Now, unfortunately, because the incident happened just after the pit lane, I had to wait an agonising 3 minutes to get towed back to the pits, and when I got there, I had a whopping 7-minute repair time. Now, I decided against having the optional repairs done as well, so I got back out on track in 16th position. Now, I came out not far in front of the race leaders, which meant it was really difficult to get any sort of rhythm together. The last thing I wanted to do was get in the way of the front runners, so this is the first of several instances where I pulled to one side. On this occasion, I was letting the race leader, Stanislav Ostrovsky, through, but then the next lap, I had 2nd and 3rd place breathing down my neck. Now, once again, the last thing I wanted to do was get in the way of the battle for 2nd position, so I pulled over to the right to allow Stefan Bechtold past, and then at the start of the next lap, I made sure I left loads of space for 3rd place Simon Longshaw to get past safely. Now this thoughtfulness comes at a cost. Take a look at the relative board, bottom right. You'll see the driver in 17th, Sedat Setin, is taking full advantage of me slowing down to let these cars by. He's closed the gap in from around 10 seconds to less than 1 second now. And it soon becomes apparent that Setin is not nearly as considerate when it comes to letting the faster drivers through. Look to the rear view mirror. For the past few corners, he's actually been defending that position rather aggressively against the driver in 4th position, Tsonga Ivanic, and he's going to take it too far into this left-hander. Look, he runs the 4th place driver out wide, out onto the grass. Ivanic less than impressed with it on the text chat at the top of the screen, but it does give me a bit of breathing room. That gap opens up to 2.5 seconds. Meanwhile, relations between Setin and Tsonga Ivanic were getting even more ill-tempered. Setin doing everything he can to stop the 4th place driver from getting past and lapping him. Now Ivanic finally got the job done after getting a better exit out of the final corner and making the pass down the start-finish straight. But Setin wasn't done. Look at him putting all kinds of pressure on the 4th place driver now and doing everything he can to distract him. Look for the headlight flashing. There it is. He's right in the middle of this battle for 4th place now. Ivanic in 4th. Alvaro Rodriguez is the car behind in 5th with the back marker in between them, doing everything he can to put them off. Now this puts me as a back marker in a very difficult position. Of course I want to pull over and let the 4th place driver Ivanic through, but I know if I do that I'm probably going to lose position on track because I can't imagine Setin is going to back off and not take this opportunity. Of course he's not. He dives right through as well. And now I'm worried because I'm in the way of Rodriguez in 5th, so I pull it out really wide. I end up taking an incident point for running off track, but I wanted to let Rodriguez through safely. Yeah, I really didn't know what to do here. I mean, there's no way I wanted to behave like Setin and deliberately try to slow these guys down, but at the same time, I didn't really want to let them by, knowing that I'd lose my own position as well. And here we see Setin still flashing his headlights at everyone he can, making the most of that gap and taking 16th position. Back to the live action, and Setin is trying to unlap himself. Look at Tsonga Ivanic in the chat. He is not happy. I've just about given up hope on 16th position, but if this all ends in tears in front, there might be a sniff, and it is going to end in tears. There's a cloud of smoke. Setin's off. We're going to have to dive for the gap. Can we squeeze through? We're over the curb, and we get past Setin back into 16th position. Oh, I was in two minds on whether to go for that move, knowing how unreliable Setin is as a driver, but let's face it, everything else in this race has gone wrong. I've not got much left to lose here. But it looks like Setin's incessant headlight flashing finally got the better of Tsonga Ivanic in 4th. He makes the mistake going through the Villeneuve chicane, gets out onto the gravel. Now he's forced to take the defensive line against the back marker. Setin actually bumps him out wide to unlap himself there. And to be honest, I think Ivanic has just had enough by this point. That looks a bit of a deliberate move to dispatch this back marker into the gravel. And Ivanic certainly did me a favour because it gave me the opportunity I didn't think I was going to get to take that 16th position back. On board with Ivanic, he switches to the inside. And I think this is the point where he decides to say see you later to Setin. Well, unfortunately, I hadn't seen the last of Setin. He was only a couple of tenths behind, and I suspected he might make a dive up the inside into Ravazza, so I made sure I left loads of space, mainly to keep me safe. So at this point, once again, I thought I was going to have to settle for 17th position, but no, watch Setin. He's going to go in for his pit stop, so I am going to retake 16th position, and by virtue of that time spent in the pits earlier in the race, I only had to have a quick splash and dash when I went into the pits, so I was able to come out still in 16th, and that's where I finished. So yeah, not a successful outing at all today. I had high hopes for this one too. I had decent pace, but I just never got the opportunity to show it, even after the pit stop for repairs. Because I didn't take those optional repairs, the car wasn't handling as good as it should. But by waiting it out in the pits and then getting back out on track to finish the race, it was at least damage limitation as far as iRacing was concerned. I only lost 18 by finishing 16th out of 25. Now, if this video has whet your appetite for more start line chaos, then I'd recommend you to check out the video on screen now. It's a Porsche Cup race I did at Laguna Seca last year, and it was absolute mayhem when the lights went green. But for now, from Imola, it's farewell, have a great week, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.